Hand clap, that sucked, man. Hand clap to the master brothers and sisters, that was much better. Welcome to all the Mystelics family you've tuned into yet this year vibrations on this year Mystelics Reacts channel. Hand clap goes out to every single one of you guys. I appreciate you guys. You did not have to, but you chose to, and I appreciate that. Right, brothers and sisters, for definitely tuning into yet another vibrations. And of course, the newcomers out there, wake up on yourself. New individuals out there, wake up on yourself. But tuning into these vibrations. If you want to see what's up in this reaction, of course, this is the boy Mystelics, where I give my thoughts on a number of things pertaining to the Caribbean people, linking back to Dominica, then extend it forward to, of course, the international community, linking back to the Caribbean already. So you know the scene is already, brothers and sisters. Anyways, I appreciate you guys for tuning into these vibes. Don't forget to click the like button for me, click the thumbs up button. I would appreciate that. And of course, subscribe and turn on that post notifications so you can get the latest vibrations when they do definitely tend to come right there. I would appreciate that. Nonetheless, brothers and sisters, hopefully you guys understand what I said right there. I feel like I can be a rapper like what is his name? That light-skinned big guy for Fat Joe, I think, or I'm gonna say, man. Anyways, not Fat Joe, no, that other guy that was rapping really fast. Anyways, brothers and sisters, that's not the point. Let us get into the vibrations for the right there. Of course, we have this individual that you've seen right there, brothers and sisters. He's none other than Selassie. All right. And of course, according to this, Selassie made a statement, I think, that is vital to every individual out there to listen to what is being stated right there. He indicated hard times don't build character. No, brothers and sisters. You see, it's interesting when you look at hard times in this world, brothers and sisters, especially in Dominica. It gets to reveal who people actually are. And I'm sure that's what he's saying. They reveal the leader that you've already become. Hard times, brothers and sisters, do not make you become things. It can either break you or make you. And when it's making you actually who you are, and as a result, it's shaping you into betterment. However, sometimes when you think hard times are going to shape everybody, no, it does not. Not at all. Sometimes it breaks people down, brothers and sisters. This is why we always need each other. Those who are weaker than the other to stand firm. Not stay at your home, you know, brothers and sisters, but to stand firm with those who are standing strong. Where you are fallen weak, where you are weak, brothers and sisters, others are being made strong right there. So, of course, these are the words of Selassie when it comes on to the matter of hard time, brothers and sisters. And I think it's important that we remember this right there. By the way, for all the Rastas, I have to point this out right there. Or for all the Rastas who tend to follow Selassie for some reason or the other, they apparently don't seem to know that Selassie was actually a Christian. It's interesting. If you think I lie, he stood with Billy Graham at one of the ordinations for the Christian community, and he admitted this right there. So it's not me that's saying what I want, okay? So it's interesting when Selassie, Rastafari people want to say, oh, you know, that is who they follow, and so forth and so forth and so forth. Actually, I had this talk with one of the lawyers who is a Rasta on that philosophy right there, and he didn't deny it. But for some reason or the other, you ask yourself, what do they follow if Selassie was a Christian? Anyways, that's a whole other story, I think. Brothers and sisters, so I just had to point this out right there for individuals. Hard times don't build character. They reveal the leader you've already become. Sometimes, I can even flip that on America and say sometimes good times are sometimes what reflect the individuals themselves because they showcase who they truly are. That's true. When there are good times and you don't have to hide for survival, good times you just come about and everything looks fine and dandy, brothers and sisters. As I remember, the Prime Minister of Dominica creating hard times on the very people. It's very interesting, brothers and sisters. Very, very interesting. Anyways, talking about Prime Minister, there's the President, brothers and sisters, of Burkina Faso, brothers and sisters. It's important that this individual is doing something quite phenomenal. A number of you guys actually mentioned him on my post. I know he was. I know what he does right there, brothers and sisters. But of course, he is going after his own cabinet, so to speak, brothers and sisters. Let's take a listen to what he's saying right there.
We realize that there are still some bad apples trying to play with time, perhaps. But
we realize that there are some bad apples trying to play with time, brothers and sisters. Time is of the essence, brothers and sisters. 20 years have passed in Dominica. Dominica has gone to the bottomless, man. Not up, you know, to the bottom. And sometimes burst the bottom and just go down, brothers and sisters. My goodness gracious.
We have spent 2 years raising awareness. I think at some point, the people themselves felt that we were raising too much awareness and it was time to take action. And from a certain point, we decided to take action. I want to inform you here that unfortunately, in recent times, following a report on a complaint, we have discovered a network of criminals, unfortunately, within the ministry, even within humanitarian action.
Brothers and sisters, can we claim in Dominica that there are criminals in our ministers, within our minister capacities, brothers and sisters? Can we say that they are criminals or corrupt individuals? Can we say this? Can you tell me, brothers and sisters, can we say that in Dominican ministerial capacities, are there a lot of criminals or are there individuals involved in corrupt practices? This is probably why they do not want to audit themselves. You don't think so? All right.
This ministry that was supposed to act for the benefit of the most disadvantaged, it is in this ministry that people allowed themselves to embezzle money in billions in 2024. They embezzled several billions.
Several billions.
The police did.
Brothers and sisters, they embezzle. People who are supposed to be doing things for the people have decided, no, I want for myself and I want to see if I can embezzle money. Billions of dollars. I don't know if it's in the currency, but billions of dollars, brothers and sisters. That'll be millions of dollars right there. Okay? Several millions of dollars right there. It's very interesting when you look at what is going on with the rest of the world, brothers and sisters, especially within that aspect of corruption taking place in different countries or communities.
Did an excellent investigative job that allowed us to discover many assets, luxury vehicles, a good number of things in any case that have been seized.
All right. What is the police doing? We know that there's corruption in Dominica. What is the police doing? Huh? It's clear that the police are actually out there in Burkina Faso doing what they need to do. Not true? All right. What is the police in Dominica doing? In the height of democracy, brothers and sisters, you would think that, hey, the police needs to hold people accountable when they are breaking the laws. But apparently it seems like only the laws is for some set of people. When we've seen all sorts of buildings coming up and police staying quiet. All sorts of things are happening. Billions of dollars is out there. When now international communities have to get involved and say, you know what, you guys are doing this. We cannot be associated to you anymore. Remember what United Kingdom did? You know, you remember what Ireland did? Remember what a number of these countries did, brothers and sisters? It's interesting that I've gone to a number of these places. And as soon as I go to these places, they shut it down, Dominica. That's crazy. But anyways, brothers and sisters, interesting. It's very interesting.
The case has been transferred to a court. This is to say that if we do not take control seriously, there will always be this kind of people who believe that everything is allowed.
When corruption has been embedded and grows, brothers and sisters, it's no longer a seed, it's now a seedling, then it grew to a tree. Will it be difficult to uproot it, brothers and sisters, when it comes down to this? Who is holding these people accountable to the wickedness and corruption that they're doing on behalf of the Dominican people? And apparently the Dominican people seeing it happening. It's not like we don't know there's corruption. You know, when people know that there's corruption, they will say, oh, but the others were doing it too. That's what they're saying. Remember SKERRIT in the interview? Saying, oh, Freedom Party used to bring in people and he claimed UWP used to bring in people, even though he cannot pinpoint to it at all. But we can pinpoint to him though. We can definitely pinpoint to what he's doing. And that he's treating brothers and sisters in accordance to the rule of law. He's saying, but they have done it. No, it's not what they have done. Even if they did it, we know for a fact you're doing it. Just like we know there's corruption happening in Dominica. Massive corruption. And we don't even have to say that. Let's say we're blind. The international community came to Dominica to tell the Dominican people that there's corruption involved in Dominica outside there. Outside, these people came to Dominica saying we had no dealings in linkage with Dominica, but the trails of corruption in the international communities led us to Dominica. So even if you don't want to believe it and say it's lie, the international community is linking corruption back to Dominica. We know when a number of criminals have obtained our diplomatic passports, Ali Reza Monfared, Alison Maduke, and a number of others, brothers and sisters, obtained our passports. How you think they obtained the diplomatic passports? They print it? Who you think give it to them? And you want to tell me there's no corruption in exchange for whatever favors? We hear that there's some sort of building that they have in New York, trying to give to the prime minister. Not me, that's the Al Jazeera that have that, you know. Not me. It's very interesting, brothers and sisters. Let's continue.
Embezzling billions, especially in the Ministry of Humanitarian Action. In this context, there are insurance court agents who were caught in this, who are currently in prison.
Put them in prison. You're getting paid a lot of money and you're still doing dirty. Stop your dirty. Well, you must stop it in prison. Once you are caught and they send you jail, which the police is supposed to be doing when people are doing corruption, but they themselves are in cahoots. They're in the same bed with those who are committing corruption because they give them certain positions. They give them positions for allowing themselves to go in against the Constitution. It's interesting what is taking place in Dominica. We expect Dominica to elevate. You really expect Dominica? Brothers and sisters, Dominica was either at the top 5 or in the middle of the Caribbean when it comes down to progress. Dominica today is last Kakarat. Last.
Involving hundreds of millions.
The very people themselves admitting that Dominica has been last when they have been in charge for Dominica for over 10-15 years. Saying we have been last for far too long. Reggie, that come and say that to me. And he was in charge. Okasa Bisim. Let me continue.
Embezzling food supplies that were supposed to benefit the most disadvantaged.
Doesn't it sound like Dominica? And we hear all these rations coming in and they didn't give rations because people don't support the government. When the rations were for everybody. You heard that? No? Yes? Maybe. All right.
To benefit these internally displaced persons. And it is in this ministry that people try to embezzle this money. And I am convinced that this exists almost everywhere because we are continuing the investigation. Often...
As they should. That is what a leader of a country is supposed to do. Investigate. Because they are not loyal to themselves. They are loyal to the people that they are supposed to be facilitating. It's very interesting.
There are arrests that you might not understand, but we know why we are making them. There are still many people trying to embezzle public funds. We will not have any pity for those individuals.
Not at all.
So, this is an opportunity to...
Is that one of the individuals involved in embezzlement? They're showing the photo, Mr.
Call upon the Commission for Dysfunctional Regulations that has been established because there are many reports reaching the presidency here to get to work seriously and allow us to uncover all these thieves hiding in the administration. We cannot tolerate this at a time when we are fighting against terrorism, where people are sacrificing themselves on the ground. And others are in the rear, allowing themselves to steal billions.
What they thought that they were doing, oh, there's a situation that is happening, so everybody's eyes will be over there. And because their eyes are over there, let us see what we can do there. Isn't that something similar? Oh, when there's like big activities happening in the country, festival, carnival, whatever, then they know the people's distractions are somewhere else, and as a result of distractions somewhere else, they then do all sorts of strange things, brothers and sisters. Oh, I don't know, no, I just talking.
And to indulge in luxury.
Tell me if I lie, you know.
It's difficult to grasp this situation. On top of all that, there are Burkinabés who lack patriotism. We have all followed the efforts that have been made to acquire a new plane. The last time, I was obliged to receive last week 2 mechanics from the company who, as soon as the plane arrived on the 2nd of last month, on the 3rd submitted a resignation request. And one submitted the resignation request on the 3rd to take effect on the 4th, and the other took effect on October 31st. And for good reason, they are demanding a salary increase of more than 2 million. It's sabotage. And I think it's a serious lack of patriotism.
I agree. How on earth you increasing your salaries without actually doing anything for the people? You want an increase in salary without actually doing anything for the people? Doesn't that sound like Dominica, brothers and sisters? People have been crying time and time over time again. Hey, last we need a little raise. They give the people $10 to $20 raise for the year. $10 to $20 raise for the year, while they increase their own salaries, one by $4,000, brothers and sisters, some by $2,500. On top of that, we have people who are advising the Prime Minister, getting about $6,500 per month. Allegedly. Gasa, boy, doing absolutely nothing at all in the benefit of the people. It just put them in positions to call them advisors of the prime minister so they can pay them his monies. It's very interesting, bro. Very interesting times, eh? And it's happening here. Interesting times. Big up to, of course, Ibrahim right there.
The board of directors tried by all means to reason with them. They even went as far as making concessions up to 400,000 francs more on their salary and everything. They categorically refused. They refused to work.
They refused to work and increasing their own salaries. Isn't that what I just said? Happening in Dominica. They refuse to work for the people. Imagine PAL reps getting salary increase and PAL reps are doing nothing for the constituency. Absolutely nothing.
While we know very well that for each flight, the plane needs a number of checks to be able to take off again. But they refused to work. While the new plane had just arrived. This is pure and simple sabotage. A plane arrives on the 2nd and on the 3rd, you decide not to work as mechanics. We were forced to meet with them and convey the message that they will work willingly or by force. We are not asking anyone. We are not going to negotiate anymore. They will work, and that is what is happening.
By fire, by force.
In the Air Force, there are mechanics who do not earn what they earn, but who sacrifice day and night so that the aircraft are in flight to support the combat forces.
These people should get their raises. These people should get the raises, not those who don't work in.
They have never demanded an extra franc. So these are the kinds of attitudes we are fighting against.
All right. Once you're fighting against them, high level of corruption, brothers and sisters. Talk about corruption. Remember back in the day? You don't remember? Well, let me see if I can jog your memory.
Can you imagine that using part of the revenues from the Citizenship by Investment Program, Labour will give every young person just after their 21st birthday a cash lump sum that they can use to do a business, help to secure a house, or apply toward educational training overseas.
She said help to secure a house, which means at least you should get at least some. We're talking about if it's 10% on a house in Dominica and a house is like 200,000, then about $20,000. She's talking about that. $20,000 when you're 21 years old. Brothers and sisters, help me understand something now. Has any 21-year-old, and this is talking during election time, eh? So let's say his last election, that was 2022. So I know a number of persons, many birthdays have come. You know, many of them have come. So those who have received 21 years of age, after this, have you gotten a lump sum of money for you to be able to put down on a house, to go into business, or to go into education? Huh? Have anybody? Brothers and sisters, there are thousands of you guys that watch my videos. Do you know anybody who was turned 21 years old in Dominica and got any sort of help when it comes down to that birthday, 21-year birthday vibes that this person is talking about there?
Labour!
You see, they're saying this because the song's nice. They have known that they can say a number of things when it comes down to elections and just don't do it at all. Remember the Eroso Enhancement Project since 2014? It sounds nice. Yes, it will always sound nice. And they will make promises after promises and not keep. And then come and tell you, while they're making the promises that they know they're not going to keep, tell you that these are not pie in the sky promises. Can you imagine that? They're making promises that they know they're not going to keep. And then they're telling you that these are not pie in the sky promises. Then you later finding out that it's actually pie in the sky with zero promises at all. It's just pie in the sky. You know? Pie in the sky, brothers and sisters. But something that they caught right there, brothers and sisters, that I think a number of us probably didn't catch. She said this. Are you ready? She said this. Take a listen.
Can you imagine?
So she wasn't saying that she's going to do it. She's saying, can you imagine? That's what she's saying right there, brothers and sisters. Can you imagine that they go to, when you're 21 years old and all these kind of things there, every 21-year-old will receive a lump sum of money that they can do something in the education, in the entrepreneurial, or in the housing department. But apparently we don't know that is the case at all, because in these modern times that we're living in, all we're seeing is people getting houses that they cannot own. They get in houses that they cannot own, and the reason why they're giving you houses is so you shut your mouth because you fear that you lose this house. In the letter that they're giving the people with the people that they're giving the houses, you know, they tell them the Lord gave and the Lord have take care for it. Yes, sir. That is the audacity. That is audacity. Yes, sir. Anyways, let's continue.
That using part of the revenues from the Citizenship by Investment Program, Labour will give every young person just after their 21st birthday a cash lump sum.
Okay, that never happened. Never. Unless she's probably talking about St. Kitts. We know St. Kitts giving their people, even Dominican people in St. Kitts getting part of the CBI program from St. Kitts. Yes. Dominicans who once were in Dominica going St. Kitts getting part of the CBI monies that they promised the very Dominican people themselves during election time, brothers and sisters. Can you imagine that? It's very interesting to imagine. Now you think that she's saying this on the merit of actually doing something wonderful because Dominica is doing well, but wow. Is Dominica a rich or poor country? Economically, remember, brothers and sisters, when I speak, I always speak economically. Because Dominica, to me, when it comes down to the natural aspect of Dominica and the resources of Dominica, Dominica is far richer than all the other countries put together. The small island countries that are doing much better than Dominica, put together, Dominica's resources far exceed that. And for some reason or the other, I'm not calling SKERRIT name for screwing up the economy, even though he is the one screwing up the economy. But I'm not calling his name, brothers and sisters. We see this right there. Economy. Dominica is one of the poorest of the Caribbean countries. One of. It claims one of, brothers and sisters. But when you look at the GDP factor, you can safely say that Dominica is the poorest Caribbean country. That is a fact. How do you know this? Let's say we don't have Google. Okay, forget Google, brothers and sisters. When you listen to the amount of salaries teachers get in other countries, Dominica is the lowest. When you listen to carpenters and all the other people, Dominica is the lowest. And when it comes down to other countries, Dominica is the lowest. Brothers and sisters, I remember at one point in time, and I know this for a fact, some individuals went overseas to do construction, and they were making more at that time, more than the Prime Minister of Dominica. Construction they were doing overseas. Imagine that. All right. Brothers and sisters, it's important that we know facts for itself. Facts, brothers and sisters. Not fiction. Facts. All right. And this is something that I saw, brothers and sisters, and I think I have to point it out right there. And I'm going to flip it for you guys. So take a listen to this right there. A street vendor sold burgers at $5 each, or for $5 each, but struggled to make sale. He struggled to make ends meet when it comes down to that. So he decided one day, he put up a sign saying only 10 burgers left. The line formed instantaneously, brothers and sisters, and he sold out completely. That's a metric that businesses tend to do. I'm sure when you go and look for flights or something of that sort, you might see 3 seats left, or 4 seats left, or 5 seats, or 1 seat remaining. But when you actually decide, you go and check out for you to go and check the seats, and when you look in the aisle of the seats, you see in 6, 7, 8 seats open, even though they tell you 1 seat open. You can Google it, you can search for it yourself. You know, I've done it a number of times to realize it's lie the line. Anyways, that is not the point, brothers and sisters. He repeated this trick daily, but the supplies was unlimited, even though he claimed that it's only 10 left right there. Moral: scarcity creates demand. Sometimes what seems rare is just clever marketing. Remember, like them diamonds, and they tell you diamonds are rare, even though diamonds are actually not rare. They're just collecting them and putting them in the vault, and then they release a few bit by bit by bit by bit. So when they release a few, they might have 10 billion of them in the vault. They release about what 100 of them and tell you these are very rare, and then make you believe, oh my goodness, wow, this is rare, and you have to pay $100,000 for these things. And in actuality, you probably supposed to pay only $10 for it, but because of marketing. But this is a business strategy. However, I want to make this Dominican. Imagine your prime minister is telling you there's not much money out there, and the monies that are coming into Dominica is very few. However, in hindsight, there's an unlimited amount of supplies. This is most likely why the court case has to continue, brothers and sisters. But your government is telling you there's a limited amount of monies in Dominica, whereas in actuality, there are billions of dollars overseas hidden somewhere in some sort of offshore or being handled by some other individuals right there. And they are telling you that there are only few left. Just imagine, when you see only 10 left, you see very little money in Dominica. Very little. So they're making you believe that there's not much money, while they, on the other hand, overseas where you cannot see, they are making you believe that these monies that are coming to Dominica is very small, but the monies that you cannot see are in the billions. In the billions, brothers and sisters. While you're crying in Dominica, hey lads, we don't have proper health care, we don't have proper roads, we don't have proper agricultural facilities, we don't have means to elevate our education, even though the rest of the world is elevating. My goodness, where is AI being taught in Dominica? Where? Huh? Where, brothers and sisters, is AI being taught in Dominica? How far back is Dominica fallen? Right, sometimes I don't know, I don't know. But this is a clear example of what I wanted to point out. Just because they say that this is it doesn't mean it's actually true. They want to condition your mind into thinking that there's nothing because you have no known capacity of understanding. This is why I like people like Mr. Lennox Linton, when they come and they bring in the facts for individuals, and people still making look at what Elon Musk them is doing. They did not deny the frauds, the $10 trillion frauds that they found out, brothers and sisters. Have the American people paying black is white and increasing taxes on them, saying that we don't have much money, yet still they are engaging trillions of dollars of fraud. Brothers and sisters, the same thing in Dominica, telling us there's not much money until SKERRIT had to come on radio and admit that their monies overseas, then claim that these monies are for development. Why didn't you say that in the beginning? You claim that it was for in development. But I tell you, boy, it's really something else when it comes down to your human conditioning. Anyways, brothers and sisters, I just had to point this out right there. Moving along, brothers and sisters. Of course, we know all the sentiment I actually indicated yesterday. That Danny LUGAY, of course, the court ruled in Mr. Danny LUGAY's, Danny LUGAY, when it was considered that he was falsely imprisoned and unlawfully detained by police. Interesting, this was for 2020, by the way, brothers and sisters, 2020. Yes. By the way, more people have won their cases when it comes down to the situation that took place in back in the day. But of course, let's read what is being reiterated right there. The claimant, Mr. Daniel, is alleging that he was assaulted and battered, wrongfully arrested, falsely imprisoned, and kidnapped by police officers of the Commonwealth of Dominica Police Force on the 15th of August, 2020. He is seeking remedies from the state, in particular damages for what he believes are torts committed by agents of the state. So he won that, brothers and sisters. The claimant was arrested outside the Prime Minister's residence at Mount Daniel in the early evening of Saturday, the 15th of August 2022, by then Inspector Police Mr. Michael Sebastian, the second defendant. Mr. Sebastian, who is now an assistant superintendent, of course, not elevate them now. When they do the wickedness that they're doing, they're promoting them. So they say, I get my promotion, they will continue doing the bidding of the people who are supposed to be servants of the masters, but in turn become the masters of the very servants. The very police that is supposed to hold these people. Remember I showed you video of IBRAHIM? Remember I showed you that video where he's holding the people who are doing corruption account? Some of them in jail today. Brothers and sisters, but apparently the police in Dominica are not doing that. But they're looking to go after people who are fighting for their rights. That's interesting. But this matter was in 2020, right there, brothers and sisters. The secondary claimant arrested the claimant on the 15th. He took the claimant to his personal vehicle. The claimant was then placed in custody of Mr. Martin Anatol, the third defendant. who at the time was corporal of police in the CDPF, and attached, blah 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 blah. Anyways, you guys can check it out on NIN, or you can just slow down this video and stop. Let's get to the order. The claimant was falsely imprisoned when he was unreasonably and unlawfully detained beyond what was necessary, and even after the second defendant knew that the claimant was not the person of interest who was involved in harassing, obstructing, and verbally abusing the Prime Minister. All right then. In this circumstance, the first defendant shall pay to the claimant the sum 5,500 in damages and pay the sum of 5,000 in cost, being the figure agreed to before the commencement of this matter right there. So there was some sort of agreement on the matter of paying some sort of monies, and then in addition to pay the I guess the lawyer fees, pay the sum in cost. We claiming the sum 5,500 in damages. Okay, so there's damages, and then there's a sum of the cost that was added in addition that was paid the commencement of the matter. So Danny LUGAY won his matter right there. He won the matter, which of course is kudos. He also got arrested recently, brothers and sisters, and most likely, like I indicated before, all these people need to sue the government, and not most likely, they will definitely win. They will definitely win. You know how they're going to win, brothers and sisters? Because it was the police who violated the Constitution. I don't care what act they put, no matter what act is put, if it violates the Constitution of Dominica, they are wrong. No questions asked. None. So I would really like to see how they're going to work this out there. They violated the Constitution. So all the people that they arrested, brothers and sisters, they have to pay them some monies. They have to pay them some monies, brothers and sisters. It's very unfortunate that the monies have to come from the state. But if they're using the state to do their craziness, then let the state pay. This is why the people of Dominica have to say, hey, enough is enough. If the people want to stand and say enough is enough, well, let the state pay. But I think where they will really feel it is if it comes from their paycheck. It'll affect them indirectly. Those who want raise and all these kind of things, they won't get it because, people are collecting funds from their abuse of power. So that's a very interesting time that we live in Dominica, brothers and sisters. Billions of dollars are being paid out in the United States for police misconduct. Billions, not billions though. Billions, brothers and sisters. I find this figure to be very low, but apparently that's the case right there. I'm also looking to see the situation involving the Grog family. I'm definitely looking to see that situation right there. That is a must win as well. As a must win as well. So of course, we'll see how that goes as time goes by. The police wants to do things completely contrary to the Constitution of Dominica and think that it's fine. Because the masters that they are obeying, who are supposed to be servants, who the police is supposed to hold to account in regards to the Constitution of Dominica, not what SKERRIT say, not what police say, but the Constitution. If I was a police, best I become a policeman. I would never become police. Because I will hold them to account. I don't care who you be. As those people, well, you don't know those people I work with sometimes. When they do machine. Yo, there's one particular one I can think of right now, man. She doing magic herself. And think we just going to stand for that. She ended up having to concede. She had to. Anyway, brothers and sisters, what are your thoughts, man? Leave your thoughts in the comment box below. There's another part I was thinking about doing. The whole situation involving, the situation involving Dominica having to pay tariffs. April 2nd, that was yesterday. That's what the United States government stated that they're going to be doing. I was going to address this one, but I decided, let me leave that for another time. Let me leave that another time. We already talked for so long already, brothers and sisters. So I'll leave that for another time. Tune in, brothers and sisters. Subscribe if you want to get more vibrations in that regard right there. Most likely tomorrow I will drop it. So if you want to get more vibrations, definitely subscribe. Turn on that post notifications so you can get the latest vibrations when they do definitely tend to come through. When I upload my videos and publish them, you will definitely get to see them right there. And I appreciate that right there. Of course, you will also become inadvertently part of the Mystelics family right there and then. Anyways, brothers and sisters, don't forget to also click the thumbs up button. What are your thoughts? These are my thoughts. What are your thoughts? Leave your thoughts in the comment box below, brothers and sisters. And with that stated right there, be real, salute the king, always up. Be positive.